Hey everyone, welcome back to Gardener Reviews. Today we have got a Makita tool to unbox. I am so stoked for this one. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump in right now. There it is. I don't know if you can see it here. Osaka, Japan. Very cool. Let's get right into it. I'm actually gonna open it up from the bottom here. It's just a little cleaner looking. See if we can do this on camera. I am so very excited, and I think you guys will be too as soon as you see it. This is a very cool tool. At least I think so. Oh yeah, there we go. This is the Makita TD173. This is Makita's brand new impact driver. It is currently, I think, only available over in Japan, or at least that's where most people are getting them from. Super excited. So if you're not familiar, Makita's timeline for releasing tools is typically about, well, let me rephrase that. Makita releases tools, on a pretty frequent basis, almost yearly, but it takes almost a year for a lot of these tools to see the US market. It just takes a long time. So we currently are running the TD172. If you were to purchase it in the States, though, it's renamed. It's the XDT19. So that would be the impact driver that you would see in all of the kits, or if you were to just go buy the newest Makita impact driver on the market in the US. Like I said, XDT19, or commonly known to the rest of the world as the TD172. This, obviously, brand new 173. Not a major, I don't think we're going to see a major power difference, but there's a couple of new features on this that I'm super excited for. And Makita's kind of interesting. We're going to unbox this though, and we're just going to start talking through it all. So you got your manual. Now, because this is from Japan, obviously it's for their market. It's all in Japanese. I won't be able to read it, but I think the controls are similar enough to the 172 or the 19 that I shouldn't have any issues. Now, here's one of the cool things. When you get a Makita driver from Japan, you have some color options. Check that out. Now, purple seems to be like one of their most popular, colors, aside from maybe the classic teal. But this is the one that most people tend to import. That is a sweet looking purple. I like it. I'm glad I went with this color. They also have yellow, they have black, teal, purple, and then this year I believe it's a like an olive green color. So really cool colors. Now, jumping right into it, first thing you're going to notice, glow ring. It's gone, but now we've got a ring light. That is awesome. So Makita's always done or at least since I've been using them, they've done a decent job. They've had lights up here. Sometimes it's single, sometimes they're on the side. There's different variations between different models, but they've always done a decent job of illuminating. But a ring light, oh yeah. Yes, please. You still got your quick change button here to move between settings, so that's nice. Now you have a full ring light. Now you're missing out on the glow ring. I know for some people that may be a big bummer, but it's not going to bother me one bit. I would much rather have a ring light over the glow ring. So that's the first big difference between this and the 172 or the XDT19. Next is this. This has been shifted back. Your control panel, your controls all on the back now. And what this has done is change kind of the way the battery and the center of gravity, how all that works there. So you can see it's much more in line now with the handle and actually the head of the unit. It's not kicked forward as far. It's going to be super interesting to see how much that actually changes it. Knowing Makita though, I'm assuming it's going to make a reasonable difference. Now otherwise, this feels very similar to the XDT19, which is currently my favorite impact driver. Let me set this down here. here is my XDT19. See them side by side here. They look very, very similar. Head shape is very similar. Now obviously the front end looks like it's gotten shorter. You've got the addition of the ring light there. Control wise, the control panel looks really similar, but obviously this is on the front, this one's on the back. So here, let's get a look at what those look like. So there's that one, and there's the, it's a little harder to catch on the camera because the kind of gets obscured there. Let's go this way maybe. Yeah, that's even worse. You can see very similar layout though. Now look at this. I'm going to grab an extra battery here. We're going to throw it on the Makita TD173. Where's my battery? I had it right here. Here it is. Okay. So there is now the placement. That's what that looks like now. And you can kind of tell it's pushed back. Let's grab this like this. You can see that difference. So in the hand, it does seem to feels a little different here. Let me remove this now. Obviously there's a little bit of weight difference because I got the belt clip and some bits on the side here, but I can definitely, this wants to obviously move forward more. This one, yeah, it does feel different. Changes that a little bit. Now obviously, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make with a 2 amp hour battery. That's a pretty small battery, right? I mean, there's not a lot of weight to it. They're pretty thin, but with the 4, 5, 6 amp hours, that might start changing how this feels. So there it is. You can kind of see that difference. The other nice thing is moving this battery back. Not only are you changing kind of that, center of gravity point there, you're also now enabling this head to fit into smaller spaces. I've talked about this. I don't know if I've done it on my YouTube channel or elsewhere, but I've run into situations. I was using a Milwaukee. It was their Gen 3 impact driver, great impact driver, but I was using one of the, I think it's the 3 amp hour and it's the high output. And the pack on that sticks out so far forward that there's actually a bunch of occasions where I couldn't finish driving a screw in because the battery was actually contacting the work surface way before the head was. So even though you had this super compact head on this impact driver, the Milwaukee, you were limited if you had that extra large battery on there. And that just kind of seems silly. I'm like, well, the pack is nice and thin. That's great. It's pretty lightweight. It's high output, so you get a lot of power, but it is so just long that, again, it kind of limits the amount of space you can get into. So by moving this back, you've now really enabled yourself to take full advantage of the size of the tool head, getting it into tight spaces. Let's take a look at that light. Oh, look at that. That is glorious. That is beautiful. Lighten up that surface. No dark spot. Now obviously I should do this in the dark and actually get a good feel for it. Maybe I'll do that next. But check that out. Now I know there's some settings on the back here. You can adjust the lights. Let's see if I can figure it out here. So this is moving through the actual speeds. This should be a special mode selector. Yeah. So that's going to go through like some of the different bolt modes, those types of things. Sheet metal screws, self-starting screws, that kind of stuff. And then here we're back into the regular modes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think a press and hold. Let's see, is that going to do it? Oh, it is. Oh, check that out. Okay, let's see if we can catch it on camera. So there it is, the light. If I press and hold while it's on, it's actually dimming down and turning completely off. check that out. So you actually can set the amount of output you want. You want more, less, off. So you basically have a low, medium, and high. So cool. That is absolutely awesome. The other nice thing, moving that control panel to the back, you're no longer tipping the tool awkwardly trying to hold it. Maybe you completely remove your hand to adjust the settings. Now, I know with this up on the front here, a lot of people use that and that works incredibly well. But if you want to go into any of the special modes, you definitely have to hit this switch and move through it. And this is just way more ergonomic. You never have to leave the hand. You can just use your other one, hit it, and you're right there. And it's nice and plain, easy to see, and it's right there in line with your battery indicator. So all of your controls are really, facing you as the operator as you're actually using the tool, which is great. Nothing on the front to kind of get obscured there. Simply awesome. This is interesting too. I don't know if Makita ever has the lanyard on the tools that we see in the US, but it's definitely on here. It's not like a snap. That's like permanent. So I'm not sure. I have to think about whether I want that on there or not. Probably not. That's not really for me, but we will see. So what do you guys think? Makita TD173. This video is not going to be like using it yet. I'm going to do that in the very near future. We'll get some screws out. We'll test it with this. I might get my hands on a Gen 3 Milwaukee. I don't have access to a Gen 4 yet, but what do you guys think? Makita 173, is it worth the upgrade? I don't know. Oh, one last thing before we go. So just reminded me, I was so caught up with the light and the battery shift and all that. This is because it's for the Japanese market. So this call it is set up a little bit differently. So let me get this is our typical one we see on our market in the US market, and it will fit in there, but you see how much play is in there? That's because this is set up for a 13, I believe it's 13 millimeter detent basically. This is, I believe, 9 on the US market, and I think a lot of other markets. So you can see how little play there is on your typical one. Compare that to the JDM model. Pretty significant. Now, I know some people have said they run them like this, there's no issues. I've also heard other people say they've had it actually jam up after some use, and then it can be kind of scary and a pain. So I actually have a 13 millimeter adapter, or not an adapter, a 13 millimeter bit holder coming, and I'm gonna probably try and use that, exclusively in this. I don't think you're gonna have any issues using the typical one, but they weren't very expensive and it was easy to order, so I figured why not, let's just get a 13 millimeter. We'll eliminate some of that slop in there, and we'll kind of go from there and see if it becomes too much of a hassle. But otherwise, let me know what you guys think. I'm super stoked. A couple of awesome Makitas, and I cannot wait to test these out in the near future. Drop a comment down below. I'd appreciate that. I enjoy engaging with you guys down there. Hit that subscribe button for more content like this, and I will catch you guys in the next one.